All right, we're going to go ahead and start up and get people to join. And I hope everyone's having a good weekend. I'd like to, go ahead and move forward with our live stream for tonight. I got a lot of super chats that come in, which is typical. And yeah, we can jump into it. Just kind of have the Bitcoin chart up. Looks like we're starting to see that push higher. It's a good sign, right? It's a good sign. And we have this aggressive count, but it could also end up being, for you guys out there, something like this, and then another three-wave move down. So what will probably happen is we'll probably come out, probably going to come out of this and be up here, and everyone's going to be happy, happy, happy. I'm going to be rich. Let's go. And they're going to all go long. Everyone's going to FOMO in right here. And everyone's going to buy right there. Not here. And not here. They're going to buy there. And then what the market's going to do is going to rug pull you. That's what's going to happen, guys. That's what I really feel like that's going to happen. But we can take it one step at a time. It's good that it's starting to turn. I like that turn because now we have a tradable level to build off of. But anyway, if you guys are new to following me and just listening to this live stream for the first time, just know that this is not a channel for pumps. If you're looking for instant gratification, I want to get a setup, and tomorrow I want to make money. It doesn't work like that. I'm not your guy to follow. Go unfollow me, dislike it, whatever you feel like doing. I'm not going to be the person you want to listen to. Our setups take time. They take patience. They take good money management. And then that allows us to relax when they break out and not stress. If you're looking for, like, I want to know about X, Y, and Z, and then tomorrow it goes down and doesn't go up, and you get pissed off at Elliott Wave Sage, and then 2 weeks from now at Moons, I mean, guys, I can't help you. I can't help. Like, that's short-term gratification. You're not going to find that in this channel. You're not going to find that from me. If you're looking for that, if that's what you're searching for, go somewhere else. Just log off, put nasty comments in if you want to, and go somewhere else. These setups take time, but if you're patient enough, they usually work out. Okay, let's go into our questions. We have a lot of questions. Let's go through it. We'll start with yesterday's super chats, which I do have a list to. For some reason, YouTube gets rid of them, and because YouTube gets rid of them, I have them saved, but you guys can't see them. I don't know why it does that. I have no clue, but it's what it does. It's what it does. Let me go to where I started my list. And around open. Just got to look for it. There it is. All right, our first super chat's in open. Open, guys, is in this pullback, three-wave pullback, and we're 3 waves off the low. So this consolidation will most likely do a larger correction, but it doesn't have to. It's building off of this low. It already built 5 waves off. It's pulling back. So B could either bounce and come back a second time and then come up and then pull back. And that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then pull back again and then break out. Or it can make a big 3 swings up and then crash to new lows. And then we can try it again. So, which one is it? I don't know. And that's why this is called the middle area, and trading this is like going to the lottery in the casino. I mean, place your bets. Now, I think no matter what happens in this erratic period, it's going to be higher, but I don't know how it's going to play out. So again, if you want instant gratification, you're not going to find it here. Now, if you got patience, you can probably make it, and this will be higher in the future. Now, I think we have 5 up, so I think you're going to get another swing higher, at least. I think this is less likely. I think my guess is this is the most likely path, and I'm just going to show it here, and you can decide how you want to trade it. So this is the most likely path that I see. And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we're moving in 3, so only 3. So we only get 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then another 3. So that's what I think we're going to see out of this. And look, inverse head and shoulders forms, and we keep going. Now, in my chat, someone said, can you move in 3 waves and not 5? And this is a great example of a stock moving in 3 waves. You see, it's not moving in 5, it's moving in 3s, and it's advancing higher and higher and higher. So this is a good example. Why does it behave that way? I have my own reasons why it does, because I think the trend of this stock overall is down on the higher time frame, is down. But right now we're in this counter trend bounce that could take it, I don't know how high. So counter trend rallies advance in 3 waves, and that's what we're seeing. So it's going to take on this bull market in 3 waves for now. So that's why I think advances in 3 waves typically happen, but it's not a common structure. I never will jump to that. I only use that I only use 3 waves in the direction of an advancing trend like we're seeing here, if there's no other structure that explains it. That's the only, in that I will never, so out of 100 charts, I may have 5 of the 100 typically have that structure. So it's a rare structure. And it's usually triple levered funds do it. These type of pump and meme stocks do it. Penny stocks love to do it. Those type of things love to do these 3 wave. Crypto in some cases loves this type of structure. The low market cap altcoins, not the big coins, not the household names. They tend to advance in a traditional manner. So, all right, guys. So anyway, let's keep going. The spreadsheets are at the end of the video. Why do I not just give you the spreadsheet? Because unfortunately, there's just a lot of dumb people out there. They'll buy the whole spreadsheet, or they'll buy it, and they won't hear the context and commentary. They won't hear what I said about Ethereum. They'll just buy it stupidly and buy it, and they won't hear exactly what I said in the video, because there was a condition I put around buying Ethereum for my elite members. And that condition's been violated now with what just happened tonight. So my point is, you have to watch the video. You have to watch the video. Now, if you want to advance to the end of the video and get the spreadsheet, well, then that's on you. If you want to ignore my context, my commentary, the background, that's on you. But if I just give you the spreadsheet, then I'm saying what I'm saying is my video is not important. What I'm saying is not worth hearing. And if I just want to, people want to pay $50 for a spreadsheet, I mean, I can put that on Twitter and everywhere else, and you guys can buy that. Like, that's not the point, because I think if you just download the spreadsheet blindly and follow it, you're gonna fail, because what I have to say is important, or context around each and every symbol. But if you want to do that, I give you the ability to do that. You physically have to fast forward and physically make that decision, and then that's on you guys. All right, it's at the end of the videos. I always put it at the end. If it's not there, there was no change from last week. But I usually will say that. All right, and the next one is DeFi Technologies. I have it in a flat, maybe one more low. This could be like a triangle in 4 and one more low to finish the flat. I look at this on a higher time frame, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good for more upside. So I like what I see here. And and if we go any higher, well, then the low's in, and the count just off a little bit. Maybe that wick right there is 5. We just don't, even though it does look a little short. But I mean, this is the count I'm going with, and the count. CYCU, almost in a box. Now this one only reacted in 3 waves, and it's pretty deep. So I gave you guys the arrows of where it could go. We could hit this box and go to a new high for a bigger 3-wave move, which we see all the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the times. Something like this. But then the other problem is you get a reaction and it fails, and it goes into, the reverse split mode, which is, I think, what this thing's been doing. So I suspect, I mean, I'm not a genius, you know, I'm not that smart, guys, but I would probably think this is the path. So the likely path is probably this path. I think you can bounce here. And then I mean, you know, if the personality of this stock is like we've seen since it's existed, it's going to just drop again. GoPro, we had it topping in 5, and that was a pretty sharp pullback. I'd like to see it lose more this wave 5. You have a 5 of a 5, a massive extension. You usually lose all that. This somewhere in this area would be the low typically. So we're in this, I believe, a connector wave that you know, it depends when, you know, I don't know when exactly it's going to end. It could meander around here for a little bit more, but I would imagine it has another leg lower. And then it sets up for a great opportunity, right? Because you have 5 waves off this advance. And so that should get you at least another swing higher. So that's good. So that's good. So that's good, guys. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you know, it's not the hateful comments. It's not. I don't mind criticism. I don't mind people doing that. That doesn't bother me. I don't like death threats and people trying to come hurt me, which I used to get a lot of, but those guys have left, or they're gone. They're no longer bothering me anymore. I think they've accepted the fact I'm not going away, or whatever motivation they had, they're gone, which is good. I don't mind criticism, but I think what I'm trying to do is be clear what my channel is, who it's meant for and who it's not meant for. And since I've been doing that, and I posted a couple videos about that recently for free that people can watch about my channel, I've gotten a significant decrease in that type of messaging. So it's worked. So it's good. And because I think it's not fair to those people if they're expecting that, because there are groups out there, I call them the prayer groups. There's a lot of prayer groups out there that will tell you buy calls on open today, and tomorrow we're going to be eating, you know, steak and caviar. And then they pray and pray and pray, and it works, and they celebrate. And the prayers came true. And then there's other times it doesn't work, and they commiserate together, and they're depressed, and they ask for forgiveness, and everyone forgives each other because they all lost together. But that's not my style, guys. I'm not going to be able to give you those kind of setups. They do happen once in a while, and I love it. Right when we get those, once in a while. But I'm not looking for those, and I'll never promise you that. I'll never promise you instant gratification trades, but the trades, if you have patient enough and stick with them, they'll work out. The next one is UVIX. Please look in where I can be at the end of October. End of October. That's tough because I think the end of October, it could be up here maybe. So I think the path to get there is this is hard. This is hard to trade this UVIX because if we break this low, it opens up the downside. Now, it can do something like this, right? And then continue just to like, this would be, if that's the connector for this 5th wave down on the UVIX, because we have 5 down. That's how close we are to the end of the cycle on the UVIX, the April cycle. If that's 5, it's going to push down, you know, 1, 2, 3 of 5. So it's going to be a big push down. That's got to be a big market acceleration higher. And then when it hits this box, what does this box mean? It hit a Fibonacci level that typically produces a reaction higher. But on a levered fund like this, on this type of setup, the reaction higher could literally be in 24 hours. You could be up 25-30% on this thing. We saw this with YNN, the same kind of setup back in 2022 to predict the exact low the day it turned lower. On my video, and I think it was 2022. We did something like this, and again, we may be off by a little bit. I'll get more precise later, but we did something like this, and literally when YNN hit that level, the next day was up 45% in one day, 24 hours. I'm not saying the UVIX is going to do that, But you better be thinking like when we hit that Fibonacci level here, you better be ready for something. So in my personal, I think now if we don't hit it, fine, we don't hit it. We don't hit it, we don't hit it. Or we can correct before we hit it. Then it goes away. There's no box anymore. So the question is what's going to happen on the short term, and I honestly don't have a good answer other than there's a couple paths. It can do this straight down path, right, and then have a massive reaction out. Maybe back up to this wave 4 peak here. And I don't think you have enough time. I think by the end of October, you're going to be down in here. This would be like finishing the end of the year with a Santa Claus, disaster. Calling your stock in. That's this pattern. The other one is not this. The other one is we do it. The market sells off this week, and we do something like this, and then we come back down, and then we do something like this, and then that end of October we're here. So or mid October we're here, and then maybe we start pulling back. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I think UVIX is coming to a bottom soon, and then it's going to rally, and that's why we forecast a bigger market pullback coming, because this UVIX has to finish the cycle from April. So it's going to do it in one or two ways. It's either going to do it here and finish the cycle in Y on the Dow Jones here, or it's going to do something a little more bearish. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 5 like this and like this and like that. And then if we correct all of April, that could produce a much bigger UVIX spike than that's the biggest UVIX pump. And again, that would be mid-October. End of October, we could be recovering from that catastrophe. Could be in a connector wave. We don't know. So unfortunately, this is the worst time to try to be guessing the top. And buying the UVIX and playing the UVIX is essentially a way of trying to guess the top. So I'd rather just buy the dip and let the market tell me it's time is up. And that's what we've been doing. And we'll just keep doing that. Okay, we're just going to keep doing that. All right. So anyway, that's all I say. I don't have much more insight on the UVIX, where I'm not interested in trading it right now. I'm just not interested in trading the UVIX right now. All right, let's go to where we left off. I will find it here somewhere. As you can see, we go through a lot of symbols on our live streams. We go through a lot of symbols. All right. So UVIX. All right, thanks for the super chat, Eric. All right, Let Your Winners Ride has a bunch of super chats we'll go through. GLW. All right, Corning. Thank you for bringing this to our community's attention. I cannot thank you enough. And I'm surprised I missed it, but this is why we do the live streams. It's another feeder for stock symbols that go into my watch list. I mean, guys, look at this thing. 2025, almost 26. A 26-year consolidation is over. I mean, good Lord. This is years. This is going to be, what's its market cap now? Its market cap is, let's find it, somewhere in here. I'll find it. Usually this thing has it in here. There it is. 67 billion. This is a future $100 billion market cap company plus. It's a future big boy. The personality of it, look at the personality. So my thinking is, and we may be starting in one of these modes. So my thinking is just beg for a 3-wave pullback to buy it. We didn't even get any sell-off at the all-time highs, which is very rare. So I think we're going to come out in some 4s and 5s if this count holds up and doesn't accelerate higher. And then maybe we'll get a dramatic pullback to retest the all-time high, the breakout, to retest this area, and then it's it. So I mean, that would be more typical. I do think it's very unusual that break out of something like this and not have a back test or get rejected. So we either going to do this and get a back test, or it's going to get rejected like this week. And this count is what's going to happen is maybe you make this 5 and then it creates another 1 2 and you reject and you get a 1 2, like 1 2. Fine, buy more, load the boat, back the truck up, whatever you want to say. That's what I would do on this. So if the market's stupid enough to do this, just think. I mean, I'll be there buying it, guys. I mean, because this is not a shit stock, right? This is a good company that produces good results. So this is a good chart. I can't stress it enough. These are the charts you really need to be searching for on your stock searchers, stuff like this. So this is good. But I think it seems like to me the wave 3 should be ending, and you need the top in some fashion, and then back test the breakout. That's what I think needs to happen. So good luck on it. All right, Qualcomm. Let's take a look at how Qualcomm's doing. I'm showing Qualcomm in more of a double correction for now, because it looks very 3-wave-ish off the lows, and we didn't really get back the whole 5. So I still think we have a more downside, even though we reacted higher. I'm not convinced 2 is in yet. We are correct in the cycle from 2002. So this type of lengthy correction would be not that uncommon. The good thing is I don't think this is 3. So I think it's a 1 2 1 2, and it sets you up for a move almost like you saw here. So that's what I suspect is going to happen. What would change my mind is if we can make this can become more impulsive. So if we get up to this box and we see a clear 5-wave structure, not a 3-wave structure. If it looks like this, we're not. No, but if we could see a clear 5-wave structure, I would change my mind. And then, of course, we'd want to buy a pullback. But I think it's too early to buy it. But remember, my trading philosophy, guys, is to trade in between the 30-yard lines. We don't try to look for the bottom and pray. I want more confirmation that this is a low, and I don't have it right now. Now, it could very well be that low, and it could morph into that. And then, like I said, people may get upset but I would rather be safe than get caught up in something like that. And I'd rather buy this 5 and then buy the pullback with the confidence and with more, that I've got this in front of me, the trend, versus just kind of hoping I don't get a corrective structure, buying at the worst possible moment, and I get a double correction. So I think that's what I'd rather do. I'm not saying to short this here. I'm just saying I think it could reverse in this area, and then we need to watch it. So we need to just keep an eye on it. I believe it did erase divergence here. So like I said, technically it could be a low. It could be. I just don't like the way we look coming off the low. All right, Lunar. So Lunar's in a weird. This was another WXY 3-wave moving structure. So I'm still think we're going to make another swing higher in Y. I have us in something like this: 3 down, 3 up, and we need one more wave down. But we're if you look, we're in this B wave, in an X wave. So we're in the most complicated. This is a hard part to forecast, but I do see 5 down. So if 5 down is my guide, I can try to go with this kind of count. So I think as long as you're below 1084, you can expect this leg lower. But if you can overtake 1084, then I think this morphs into, instead of what I have here, you have 1, 2, 3 swings W, and A, B, C for X, and then you'll get Y here, and then you'll get another bigger move down later. So I think that's an important level. I'm showing you the most likely view. The other view, which is equally valid per Elliott wave theory, is this is W, X, and we're in Y now. But I'll just go with this view for now. And then if you can flip this, then it's the other view. And then we're in Y, and then Y should come up. I mean, Y could come back up to $18 somewhere in this area. Maybe I'd be no more than 20, but 18, and then I would expect another leg lower, similar to this. And then the big X is in. And then when big X is in, then it can probably come back and overtake these highs. And that's what I think could happen, guys. Okay. All right, Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto is, this one was a lot more difficult to get this short-term count, but the big picture is good. Long-term investors have a great opportunity here. Like I see 1, 2, 1, 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a 1, 2, a 1, 2, a 1, 2. And then we just missed the box we had here by pennies, and we pretty much haven't looked back. So my guess is that that's the low in 2, like the way we reacted. And now we're moving up in a lead in diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 may tag like 67, 68. Maybe it goes a little higher here. And then another pullback is likely. And then you break out. That's kind of what I'm thinking we're going to see. In the shorter cycle, it looks like we have A finished. So we could already be in B. And B can still meander around for a little bit. And then we get maybe one more high at the top. That's what I'm looking for. And then this pullback somewhere around 60. And then we break out. The only other super bearish structure I can think of is that this is a W. And then this is an A, B, C. So X. So W, X, and Y. And we come back into the box again. And if that happens, then you can just buy more. Right, you just accumulate this zone for the bigger move later. So this is why I talk about having patience versus instant gratification. If you have patience, you can build a really strong position that's going to last you for years of gains and dividends. But if you want instant gratification, what you're hoping for is an erasure or divergence, and this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're just hoping. But I can't. One, that is possible. It's a low likelihood setup. I think but I can't rule that out. I'm just showing you what I think is the most likely setup. And then the most bearish setup, which I don't think is likely, but it's still not, it's possible, is the bigger pullback off of this move down here. But either way, the path is clear to me. You've got higher highs all over the place here. You've got impulsive structure. Guys, this is going to be in a bull market. This is going to be in a bull market for years. Years. So, I mean, find a way to pull the trigger on it and tuck it away. Right? Think long term, big picture. I know everyone wants Google and all this other stuff. This needs to be on your shopping list. I mean, you guys got to buy these miners, guys, if you're a long-term investor when you have an opportunity. If the market is dumb enough, like it is in FCX, to drop it down, just say, hey, thank you. Thank you, and take it. Take the money. Take it and run. I think this is the more likely path, and I hope it works out for you guys. I really do. EMX. EMX is in a little pump here. I still see more upside in the future. You can kind of see the path that I think will play out. We should be seeing a pullback pretty soon at another degree 4. There's always a possibility to be off a swing, but most of the precious metals look like this chart, 4s and 5s. The meat of the move is over off of the major cycle, and you get this 4 and 5, and then of course you get a bigger pullback at some point. Usually you come back down to the wave 4 cluster, so we wouldn't expect it to go much lower than where it is now. So pretty much all the chasers up here are going to be blown up later. The people that bought it in this area are probably going to be fine, but they're just going to have to wait through this shit. And then when it's over, you're good. So I think that's where it's going. But I think it's, sideways, not sideways high. It's just going to be choppy, but you should continue higher. And like I said, there's a possibility I'm off by a swing or two, but I still don't see it, the cycle ending The only surprise to me would be finishing this 5, actually this 5 here, and then pulling back deeper to make another 1-2, like a 1-2, and then a 1-2, and we pull back to 382, and we don't get this pattern. We just get like a 1-2, 1-2, and then it just goes vertical from there. So that's also possible. But I think this is a good setup right here. But I see it pulling back soon, right? I think as of now in wave 5, it looks like 1-2. So maybe a little bit more upside in this 5th wave. Let's look at the RSI. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It could be over. I wouldn't count on it. It can end at any moment, this cycle, and get 4. Okay, thanks for the super chats, guys. Thanks for the super chats. I really appreciate it, guys. You appreciate it. And yeah, MBIS worked out for people who got in on that. And we literally got that low, got it at like a low. And there's a video I put out there. And then one day it's up 40% in one day. So I mean, if you guys were long-term holders of that, which again, I always say if you're an investor, you can hold at those lows, like Soundhound where we got in, you're happy, right? Those things, but those are surprises. No one knows those are going to happen. I mean, it even surprised me a little bit. But that's good that worked out for at least people. Yeah, thanks, guys. And thanks for the tip. I did get that. I did appreciate that. I really appreciate that. The use, yeah. I'm happy with you guys. We've been covering you for the last 2.5 years watching it. There's guys I know that got in it a year and a half ago that know me, and they're making money because they bought it like year and a half, 2 years ago, and they actually still hold it. See, that's what I'm saying. The long-term view works, right? And they're happy. They're paying for things for their kids and everything. And I'm like, hey, that's great, man. I was telling them, I was like, hey, that's really good. I'm glad that worked out. And I'm like, shit, I thought you would have dumped it. But I'm like, hey, you must be learning from me then. You held it all the way. So that's good. So yeah, the use has been working out. I'm really happy. But now all of a sudden, all these guys on the internet are like, oh, we got in on the use a few months ago. Guys, we've been in on the use years ago. All right, MP is in a double correction. It's got to be. This is a sharp move down. It's almost a move that would make me think 5 was in, but TradingView doesn't have the high taken out. Now, Elliott Wave Theory, the book, if you go back to the book, it says it allows truncations in 5. It allows it. This would be a great wave, but I don't want to do that because I only see 3 waves up. And 2, I just don't like that truncations in 5 crap. But I mean, it does allow it, but I think, if I would have saw more 5 waves, I may have been just say, okay, TradingView's missing a trade or something here. But I think you're going to have a double correction in 4, and that's going to produce another opportunity to buy the dip, perhaps, at like 59, 57. It could go as low as this trend line at 52. You see that trend line? It may want to tag that trend line. I really, really don't think the cycle's over. I think you got to get another high, a more conventional high. Then anything's possible, because then we either get the 4 and 5 here, or we get another 1-2. So my guess is this is it. It's just people chased it here. People chased it, and the market's punishing them. Please check divergences. Well, we can check it. Sure. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So the 4 hour here. Let's take a look. So 4 hour does show a little bit of divergence here, but the subdivisions just don't support that. So we go to the daily here. You got just a little bit of divergence. So I can't talk myself into this being 5 waves because of the structure of the wave. I mean, I guess there is divergence. What does that tell me? Maybe it does this to erase the divergence and then rug pulls you later. But my guess is it's not going to do that. It's going to do something like this. And this looks like 5 up from here. And maybe the divergence we're seeing is within this wave, and it's just we're just not seeing it. I can't explain it because it's not a perfect science, but I mean, we're all looking at the same thing. I mean, this does not look like a 5-wave structure. I mean, if I called that a 5-wave structure, you guys should not follow me. I mean, I guess I could, like, I mean, to me, this is one cycle, and then this is a clearly a big move high. I just giving you my best guess on it. So that's why I don't want to be too orthodox or religious about divergence and not divergence. I think it's like works 95% of the time, but I think in this case you got to use your own common sense. Your own common sense. That's one that, and also that's not a personality of a fifth wave. A fifth wave is always kind of against the trend. The bears are taking over. This is a reactive wave. This looks like a third wave in a corrective move. The only other possibility is you're like in something like this, and I guess I can't rule that out. I mean, maybe it's this, the whipsaw connector, and then you get this. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. I can't rule that out, but I think that's not a common look. But I mean, I think we'll go with this for now. I think we're going to go with this for now. Okay. If something changes, we'll update our forecast. We don't trade this, so we don't have a trade, so we really don't care what happens here. Honestly, I think it's more of it's more interesting for chartists and Elliott wave, technicians to kind of figure it out. But it's not really something to trade and waste our time looking at anymore. All right, Indo. I missed Indo and Hive. I must have just looked over those. Let me go put those in. Luckily, I have both of those ready to go. Indo, I have it starting to turn here, and we're trying to break. We're trying to bottom, like almost like an accumulation area, and we're trying to come out. I have this as a flat, and we want to see, we want to see this as an ABC, and we could still be pushing lower in C. You see I was trying to make a little divergence there, but so maybe it cuts a little more downside to go. So I would say it's correct in this cycle. It looks like a flat to me. This 281 super important. But actually not, no, I'll take that back. 267, because 281 could still be 2. This could still be 2. So Indo is in a strange setup. I mean, it's a very strange chart pattern, I have to say. It's obviously trading with crude oil. It's like buying a call on crude oil. You see how we erased divergence right there? The market makers just ran the stops on that. That's all they did there on that. They just ran the stops. So that just, if I was trading it and wanted to buy it, I would be right here, 211. I'd be like, if market maker, take me out at 211. If not, I don't really care what's happening here. I don't really care, because once this thing goes, and I think it will, because we have 5 up, we should make another swing higher. So I think you just got to be patient, and it's testing people's patience. Hive, let's see how Hive is doing since we last looked at it. Hive was trying to get to this box. If Bitcoin's reacting tonight, it may have finished, but you could still hit 337. We want to see this 5 play out and see this 1 and 2. The other possible path is it's 1 2 1 2. Let's take a look. So it's still in this sequence higher. It's still in that sequence higher, and I have this in like a 1 2 3 4 5. I think that's what I have it as. Let me. I don't remember exactly. Let me see here. 1. Go to the daily. Yeah, we may need to go to a more bullish labeling of this. You see how this peak is below these peaks. yeah, I think we're going to go to a more bullish label. Okay, so let's do that. Because we know we want to go higher. So we're going to go to a more bullish label on it. We're going to say 1, 2, 1, 2. And for now, this is valid. That's valid. So that's valid. So it's supported because the RSI is higher there. And all these RSIs are higher, higher, higher. And you keep erasing divergences. So this structure is sound for now. Now maybe on Monday it won't be. So could it end? It could end at any moment. It could still push a little lower and hold all those conditions. So something like that. Okay. So Hive looks something like that, and we'll see if this happens. We'll get the 3 of 3 in a week or two, and that would start, and that would get us up to this area, which I said could come very quickly. And not this is the setup you would expect if this is going to happen, sooner than later. All right, IREN. This one just keeps extending. Another one that really didn't find any resistance at the all-time high. You would think are going to backtest this all-time high at 28 at some point. When is it going to happen? We're just tracing the waves out. I think, we could get a 5, and then again, it could correct this whole cycle in a 2 and just come all the way back down in another 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm showing 4s and 5s, but it may not do that. It could also have a deep correction, and that allows even more extension. If it plays out the 4s and 5s, I can see it getting, up to the $68 area or something. So we want to buy it in 3 waves, but it's obviously slowing down, right? It's got to slow down. You would think, again, broke all-time highs with very little resistance. I wouldn't be surprised at some point in the life of this advance, you're going to backtest the breakout, and that will be your opportunity to buy it if you missed a move. I don't know when this will happen, but this is very likely will happen within this, somewhere in this structure or at the end of this 5, but somewhere in there. But right now we just we just keep riding the wave higher. It just we thought this could have been the top, but it actually was just an extension. I mean, this could do the same thing. Just keep extending. You could just keep extending. Again, it just keeps extending. It's crazy. I had no idea it was going to be this bullish, guys. I didn't know. When we were covering our lead group, we were covering it here. And again, why did we buy it? The higher high setup. This was a higher high setup, and we saw the flat, and then it did it again. So it was like the shorts just were like solely, I don't know what was going on here with the market makers and the shorts, but they obviously lost complete control of this. They were, again, this was a money tree for the shorts and market makers since its inception, but that day is over. And I remember telling you guys it's because their business is different. It's not just a crypto play anymore. It's like they're into other shit now. They're into other shit, and that's why it's doing this. They're into like the data centers and all this other stuff. So I think what happened here is whoever was shorting it never really understood why the fundamental investors were buying it, right? Why are fundamental investors buying? Because it's actually they salvaged their business model. The company saved itself and reinvented itself, which is a rare thing for a company that usually is a go to zero to do, and it's done that. And now they keep trying to short it, and now they finally have given up. But man, I bet a lot of money's been lost shorting this stock since August. All right, MIGI. MIGI, I think, is still kind of a broken chart for the time being. But when I was looking at it, it looks like we're getting that whipsaw, and we're going to come back up. I wouldn't be surprised we backtest 80 cents or even 91 in this area. I think we're just correcting this wave from here. We have 5 down. It looks like we're in that whipsaw. A, B, and now we'll just continue to advance. So yeah, I think you're right about prices recovering. It's in a. I think it's still in a connector, but I think it has more upside. We also know C can keep pushing higher as long as it's below 245. So this box is just where you typically would see it rejected, but it's not guaranteed. So, but I do think it's got to finish a 5-wave cycle lower. Hims is ready to break out, guys. I mean, I'm just looking at the count. This looks pretty strong off that low. Maybe you get a pullback, a small pullback in 2 here, and then I think it's breaking out. Why? I have no idea. I mean, I thought it can't sell Ozempic and that stuff anymore. So, I mean, maybe traders and fundamental investors don't know that, or maybe they know something we don't know. There's going to be a deal struck with Novo again or Lilly. But man, when this thing breaks out, 88-100 easy. I think it's going to break out, and we're covering it, and we're like very cautious. But I think now I think it's like, hey, if you can get this 2 and stop at 50, yeah, why not? Give it a shot. Right? You may be able to get the easy money on this, because I think it's the bulls are wearing out the sellers in this, and again, fundamentally I don't know why, because I mean it made sense when they could sell the weight loss drugs, total sense, but now I don't know why. Either those people don't realize they can't anymore, and they put a stop to that, or they know something we don't know. But you do have a higher high here. Remember IREM? We were just looking at that. Almost the same thing, just a different time frame. So it's likely to break out. But I'm showing it breaking out in a wave 5 though. It doesn't have to be though. It could be another one too. It's a head scratcher, but the chart's the chart. We don't try to trade the fundamental news. There's got to be news about this we don't know, that other people know, but we just don't know. So SLLT is probably a bottom tier with what is happening in crypto tonight, and that would put the X in. So this is very erratic. This is another example of something moving in like 3 waves, and this is almost impossible. Like, this is one of the hardest charts to trade because we don't have a lot of data and history. So if we go back to Solana itself, we need, as long as we're above 190, it could be go time, right? I mean, because any deeper, we're going down to retest the lows, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I think this was a pretty much like a crash correction. We had the 5, and that's what you would have expected. Now this 5 is pretty long. So could we come back down to 150? I can't say it's not possible. So you do have to be advised. There could be a double, right? And we go back down here. And of course, SOLT would bounce and make another low. And that would hit that $12 target we're talking about. So I think the next week of trading is going to be key. If Solana can push up past the 618 retrace, then it's gone. I think if it can't get by the 50% retrace, so here, if it can get past 229.02, the odds of it breaking out are significantly higher. If it gets rejected around 222, or if it can't make it, then I think you have a risk of a double. So you're gonna have to watch it. The other thing is you can watch for 5 waves off the low. Right now it's just born. The wave is just being born right now. We don't know. It could turn into this. If you see that, then it's good. If you don't, and you see something like a squeeze up to where we're talking like up here, it just squeezes up, and you get a big harsh sharp rejection. Well, I'd be worried about a double correction. So that's what's going to happen. So SOLT is going to follow that. And then the 12. So I think the way I recommend trading this is never hope for a double correction. Once the cycle ends, Assume it's over, and it's over. It's going to new highs. I think that's the way this market has been. Anytime we've hoped or thought of a double correction or planned on it, the market has never given us that. And that was kind of, we learned our lesson in 22 about that on October 22, the same thing. So once the cycle ends, no matter how we feel or what we think, we have to conclude the cycle's over. We trade it higher until otherwise proven. We never sit on our hands hoping for a double and it never shows up while the market comes up to 40 and goes higher. So I think the best thing to do is assume the low is in and it's going higher. And if you're scared or hoping for a double, I think this market in this day and age is not bear. It's more, the surprises have always been to the upside and continue to be. So I think we have to just look for continuation higher from here off of this low. And yes, if it can make it up to 26 or 24 and get rejected, we could come back down to 12. So, and maybe not that low. So I think we're watching a new cycle be born tonight in crypto, guys. I think so. I think a new cycle's been born. Came into existence. So if we make a 4 and a 5, the bulls reasserted control. And what's happened is the bears ran out of time to push this down. The daily cycle's oversold. The weekly cycle's oversold. The weekly cycle needs to reset higher, right? And I've retweeted some guys that have said that don't trade this. They don't do Elliott waves, right? The guy I follow said same thing. Weekly cycle's over in crypto. Any moment, any instant. Once the weekly cycle's over, it means time's up. Time's up. Bears law. They ran out of time to drive the price lower. Now it's going to go higher. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised to see this. And then this is the tough part. Are we going to get that? I don't know that. I hope not. But the good thing is if you bought it down here, it doesn't really matter. It just means we have to wait for to get paid. But I think, my guess, guys, crypto, the daily cycle is done and the weekly cycle's done. So yeah, maybe the 4-hour cycle can sell off. Who gives a crap about the 4-hour cycle? I don't care. Okay? The daily and weekly cycle are going to take back control of this market, and that's what we're seeing now. It's too late. The bears ran out of time from this high. It's too late. This high bled the weekly cycle down, and this bled the daily cycle down. So now it's set up to go higher. So now we get to wait and see what happens. Okay. All right, guys, let's keep going. That's SOLT. Soundhound. Soundhound, there's only one count that works. There's two counts, and I'm not ready to call like the super bearish count of a flat. So it's either this count, 1 2 1 2 1 2, or it's a flat. Right? It's a flat. So right away, the 45-minute, this peak is higher than these peaks. That supports a 1 2 1 2. We haven't seen wave 3 yet. The 4-hour cycle, the same thing. So that supports this. And look, you have the higher low, higher low, higher low. You support this count, but the problem I have is this right there, 3 waves. So we could be a flat off of this peak. Like that. And we come back down and fill the gap. That would take a market meltdown or a company specific, fumble. They fumble the football somehow. I don't think it's likely. I think this is the count. We're going to go with it. It has personality of flats. These nasty flats. Look, I mean, guys, look at these flats, right? It comes up and has this huge flat, right? It comes up. And why does it have this personality? It's because people chase it. They see it coming up here. It makes all the attention on Twitter and X and Wall Street Bets, and they all buy it right here, right here, right here. And then the market makers laugh their ass off and they just drop it on them. And then they pick up the shares on the cheap and then they mark it back up. And guess what? These same guys, They're buying it again here and here, and they're like, oh, and then they do it again. I mean, this is the personality of this stock. So I think this stock has this personality of that. So this is fitting of its personality. And it's just because too many people chase it. And you're like, why do people chase it? That seems so foolish. Who would be so stupid to do that? And I'm sure none of you guys do that watch me, I'm sure. But the people that do, like I always say, like my dad, right? My dad doesn't trade. He doesn't do any of this, you know. And when he, you know, he's not alive anymore, but when he used to be, we would trade a lot, and I give him symbols and early. Like I would say, oh, buy Soundhound here. He would. And he would love it. He's like, oh my God, I'm making so much money. Holy shit, guy, you know, this is great. And then he would call me and say, I want to buy more. I want to double and triple what I have in. And he would always call me right around here on these stocks. I'm like, Dad, no, don't do that. What are you doing? No. So that's the human emotion. That's the amateur non-trade. So human emotion says, I want to put more in because it's been a winner. And hey, if it's a winner here, it's just going to keep winning. So that's what the market's punishing, that human emotion. And that's what's happening in this Soundhound. So Soundhound must be popular stock with a lot of people, is what it's probably telling me. On a lot of non-trader, non-pros. And the market's just punishing them. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So, but this is a lesson in that chasing. You know, people love to chase. And like I said, I always get that call. Oh my God, I want to put more in. I'm like, no, don't do that. What do you do? And I'm always scratching my head. But that is the typical human emotion. When the stock keeps going up, I need to put more in because I didn't put enough in at the lows. Well, it's too late. You missed the move. You always wish you put more in at the lows. You always do. I wish I bought more here. I wish I bought more MBIA. I wish I bought all, but I didn't. And I just have to live with that fact. And then the ones you buy a lot of, they don't do anything. And that's how the market is, man. And so you just have to accept the fact, because the day you decide to chase it and hope you get an IREN, an iron, like iron, let the chasers win. The chasers won. They won. And they're probably like, but that's like 1 out of every 50 I watch do that. The others do this. So Palantir was a 1 out of 50, right? You could chase it and it just kept going up. So there are rare examples you could chase it, double, triple your money in a stock, and it's just going to keep going up. But that 1 out of 50 is your odds are never in your favor, and that's what's happening in Soundhound. So I think Soundhound may have already found the low, but it could still push a little bit further in 5. So we just got to let this cycle end. It's not over yet, guys. All right, it's not over yet, guys. All right. So next super chat, Bama Doc. Regarding the long-term outlook on precious metals, please share your top 2 or 3 out of the following: gold, silver, platinum, GDX, SILJ. Thank you. Well, the best thing to do is look at the gold to silver ratio to see, is gold going to outperform or silver? One thing is for sure, they're all going to trade together. All those stocks are going to trade together. So whatever outperforms is also going to perform the worst on the sell-off. You're going to lose the most. You're going to make the most. You're going to make the most on the stock that outperforms, and you're going to lose the most when they pull back. And they're all going to pull back together. So you're not diversified. So out of that cluster, you have to go to the gold to silver ratio to see what's going to outperform. Is it going to be gold or is it going to be silver, right? We'll look at platinum later, but gold and silver ratio, I do look at that. And it's somewhere in here. Oh, that's not it. It's somewhere in here. There it is. Okay, gold to silver ratio is pretty straightforward to me, where we're at. Okay, as you can see, we have this big WXY, and now we have a WXY. We're in Y. Y is born. X is in here. So we have this ABC coming. So what is this telling you? It means when this is rising, right, gold is outperforming silver, and that makes sense, right? Look, 2011 to 2020, gold essentially outperformed it outperformed and did better than silver, but it also didn't lose as much as silver lost, right? So in the bear markets, because remember, this doesn't tell you if it's in a bull or bear market, it just says which is outperformed, which underperformed. So gold was where you want it to be. And then when we hit those lows, of course you want it to be in silver, right? Remember it went vertical from and then gold outperformed again until recently. Until, let's see, when's this date? May 25. Mid-May. So silver will be the best bet. You want to be in silver all the way until you get to this ratio around 41.8, 30, somewhere in low 40s, high 30s. That's where you want to be. Now, on the way down, you're going to have a bounce. That's probably going to be a sell-off in the precious metals, all of them, whenever this bounce happens, right? And then again, gold will you'll lose the least amount in gold. You'll lose in everything, but gold the least. So if you're smart enough, you rotate out of silver here, you go into gold to lose the least, and then you can come back into silver, or you just hold through this in silver. So this is silver outperforming, right? And that's what we saw here. The silver's last blow off top in 2011, right? When I look at this and do the calculation, I think silver is like 130, 120 down here. So this is probably silver at 60 or 70. Just what I'm thinking, guys. I'm just thinking out loud. So if you want to pick the top 2 or 3, my best bet would be, SIL, J, and would be my first because the silver miner juniors are your small caps. We know the Russell now has broken out. So small caps in general, the Russell 2000, small caps are going to be in a bull market. So that's going to really pump. So you've got Russell and small caps in general running higher, plus silver running higher. So what do you think SILJ is going to do? It's going to be like on rocket fuel. So that would be on my shopping list. Number 1. Number 2 would be I would want to be diversified. So I wouldn't want to buy SIL. I'd probably want to buy platinum. But platinum to me is in a different count right now. Let's take a look at where platinum is. So platinum could be topping out here and then pulling back more. So you want to be in platinum on this pullback. The only thing that could happen is if you could accelerate through that, and we just don't know. So platinum, unfortunately, is just a diversification play, but you'll be coming in late if you're buying it now. You could be coming in late, right? So I would say SILJ, and then see, buying silver is basically buying the same thing. So I wouldn't recommend that. So maybe buy gold, the metal, so you have a commodity. So buy gold as the commodity and SILJ as your call on silver to make the most. And then you have a commodity, and then you have a miner, and you have some diversification. That's what I'd probably do if I was in your shoes. And again, it's not financial advice. I can be completely wrong. Do what's best for you. All right, next is POD on the ASX. POD on the ASX. Looking good, but it's in 3 of 3 land. So we don't have the 3. It could actually gap up tomorrow and keep going. It's a mineral. Yeah, it's a mineral. And the ASX, guys, is one of the indices that's going to benefit, because it's like, Australia is a mining country, right? It's so, yeah, I mean, this looks good. Now, to me, we broke the low here. So it's not like a perfect setup because this low did break. So we're in C. And what we know about C is it could just keep going and going and going and going and going. So there's no reason that we just keep trading the trend until the trend ends. So here you go. We could be gapping up tomorrow. So good luck on that. That's an easy one. TSI. I think TSI bottomed here. TSSI. We had this early as elite members, and maybe lacked the conviction, but looking back here, I think we were watching it down in this area. Of course, it went vertical, but now we've lost a lot of it. But I think that lows in. I think you got a 5th wave coming based on this bigger structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you got a 5th wave. So it's trying to build a new cycle higher. Now, we haven't made 5 yet. I think it's likely we will. And then if you can get a pullback rate, buy it. Buy that and out. If we can't, it will double correct. And then this wouldn't be a 4. I would have to put 5 here. Well, see, it's only 3. So we would have to call this another 1, 2. And then we would double from here. And it would go basically back to where we started, the pump down. And, it'd be a full round trip. So this is a critical level, 1190. It's got to hold. It's got to hold. Long term on pod, I think it's going to be in a bull market. If we going back to pod, I didn't see that last question. If we look, this C leg, I mean, it could last several years. I mean, I think the problem I have with it is the lower low here. I mean, maybe it can get back up to here, but I think it's not like I can just sit back and give this to my grandkids. I think this is it's going to benefit from the mineral bull market, but I think at some point something goes wrong. TSI, going back to TSSI. Yeah, that's really all I want to say on that. And then Peloton looking pretty good, making a 5. If we can pull back in 2, that would be a long opportunity here at $7 for the breakout. It looks highly likely. We had a box here, came out. Now we should, again, if this is the classical view, we've seen crazy things, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we just moon. We can still do that. But I think it's in a new bull market off of these major lows. Why? I don't know. I thought no one uses it anymore, but I guess there's enough subscriptions. I guess people haven't canceled that it makes money. I don't know. I don't know much about it, the business model, other than, people subscribe to their, to their service. And maybe that's good enough for them. Maybe they have enough of those people. So let's keep an eye on it. If we can get that too, that'd be a really good entry. That'd be a really good entry. Tiger, TIGR. I have that in a flat that maybe needs a little more downside before a bigger move higher. It's some kind of fintech company. I don't believe it's finished yet. I believe it continues higher. And this one's in one of those 3-way moves. So it's going to be real erratic, but I think this is kind of what I'm looking for. And I think it could push a little lower. Mobileye. Mobileye looks like a 1-2, 1-2, and I mean, I'm even thinking a 1-2. I mean, I don't know if Monday it's going to break out. Why it would break out, when's earnings, long time from now. So, not sure, but maybe there'll be some happy talk on TV about whatever they're doing tomorrow. If not, and we break these lows, then of course 2 is going to double correct. But I don't think it's going to go very deep, but it will just shake out some people. So my suspicion is, again, we have higher highs. I think we're coming out, and we had a target here, just missed it. So I think it's coming out of a big bear market. UNG, moving on to UNG. UNG is finishing a 5th wave here, should bounce soon. I think this is too soon for C, so I like to see more downside before maybe a larger cycle could end. So I'm looking for something like this. Okay. Rig, we track in our elite group, and we had a long here, and here, and then of course, boom, they slam it in 4. If we can recover this 4 and 5, that I think that makes it. I think that pretty much seals the deal that this is a major low, and whatever happens, because once we make this 5, it can make another 1, 2, and come back down to 284. It could also make these finish up this 4 and 5, and then make a bigger pullback like you see here. So something like that. So this is my view. for now. Now, this is 3 waves. So if we can't make the high, if the bears come back and slam it down again, we have to worry about, is this just a corrective bounce? This low obviously has to hold, because if it doesn't, I mean, then it's essentially a reverse split, go to zero stock. I think, I don't think it's going to do that. I mean, without crude oil prices collapsing. So I think this is the most likely path right now that I can see. All right. So let's just see what happens. P10, Patterson UT is in a box coming off of it. I think this is ready to maybe make a bigger move off the lows. So this may be another good find by one of our community members. And I had this already, so I must have looked at this before for somebody or you or someone. And we had the box here. It's finding buyers. We'll see if it can turn out of the box in the next week or two. And we're looking for 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we break out of the downtrend, and that's that. I have no idea what these guys do. I think they obviously must be some kind of oil related company, but this is the count we'll go with for now. Okay, and we'll wait and see what happens. Look, divergence erased, capitulation right there. So we'll see what happens. All right, NNE, we've got a series of 1-2s playing out that I think is happening. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then on the shorter time frame, we have 5, and then we're pulling back. That too could be done here. We could still double correct. If we double correct, that would be an amazing long opportunity at 32.99. If it double corrects down, if not, the 2's in, and we move out of the box. Again, this is one of these. You have to have the bigger view in mind. If you're looking for instant gratification, you won't find it. But I'm pretty certain. Go fast forward in the future. We're going to be trading in the 80s. Just the path to get there won't take the path you expect it to. It's going to take a path that's going to make you either give up on it, lose enough money to not want to trade it, or get bored. So we're just going to go with this count. I don't know what I had last time. I see the comment why I called it retracement, and when it comes piercing all-time highs. Well, we already saw stocks that pierce all-time highs that didn't retrace, like Corning. So there's no guarantee. I mean, it usually does, right? It usually does, but there's no guarantee. What if this was a Corning and you were expecting a retracement and we would be sitting at 60? So you just don't know. That's why there's never a trade decision. We don't top tick on our channel. We don't buy chasing out. We buy at the lows. We buy down in these areas, and up here we just kind of observe. But if your strategy was to make a decision here, I'm not the guy. You're not. There's no box. There was no decision. The decision was sidelines. I was just giving you what I thought would be my best guess at it. But it can be wrong. If I have a box that has a lot more certainty behind it, but even that's not 100%. So just understand the system that I'm saying. If we double correct down, it's obviously punishing those who chased it up here. And guess what? I'll be happy to take it off their hands. So we're going to leave this box here. I'm not saying this is going to happen. If it does, I'm ready to buy it. If it doesn't, okay, well then we'll break out and then you'll get your wave 3. So one way or the other, that one way or the other, this market's going to bring this thing higher. I just can't, if you're looking for what's it going to do in the next 24 hours? I can't. That's not the system, and I'm not the guy for you. Big picture, I'm telling you where it's going. Look at this. But day-to-day day trading, I'm not a day trading service. You won't like my service. All right, Hive. I just gave Hive, but I'll go back to the daily chart. I'll go back to the daily chart on Hive and see if we looked at that for you or not. Hive. Daily chart. Daily chart making a series of highs. We did look at this. And then a series of higher highs here. that supports the 1 2 1 2 1 2 count. And we're still in the same cycle. Same cycle. So this count is valid. This count's valid. So we will label it that way. Now, if tomorrow we push back lower and take this out, we'll change it. We'll go back. We'll probably have to go back to a 5 or a 3. 1 2 3 4, or even a 1 2 3 4 5. But I don't like that count because there's no divergence. So we will. We probably go to like a 1 2 3 4. Okay. Thanks. VRAR. So now we have our new symbols. New symbols. VRAR. We're coming out. Here looks like we made 1 2 here. Slowly coming out. Everything's going again. It's driving. It's testing your patience as a trader. It's not. There's no instant gratification on this chart, but it's slowly grinding higher. That's what I'm looking for. There you go. Let's look at the RSI on the shorter time frames and see what we've got. Divergence, it all works. I mean, that's a pretty straightforward one. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. It could still do a double. If so, buy it. You can buy it. VR next leg. The next leg will be, you'll be breaking out. When the last chart that looked like this that broke out was ESOE or whatever it is. I don't even know what the hell it's called. EOSE or something. Yeah, this. And that went up almost 40%. So I don't know. I can't tell you, like, this consolidation could produce a pretty big gain. I can't tell you. The next leg will be the easy money. So it would definitely be not a leg that I would look to be leaving anytime soon when you break out finally. Okay, the next one is CGTX. Okay. 5 down. You have a connector and another 5 down. Oh, it looks like a double correction. We'll check the RSI in a minute. Didn't quite get to the box. We have to go to like a higher time frame. Seeing 5 waves there. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a daily cycle correction, so it's probably okay. It's probably trying to find the low. So right about there. I'll still draw the box. It looks like it's gonna truncate. It looks like it's gonna truncate. It's finding a low. It's trying to find a low. Here though, as you can see, there's really no divergence. Barely any here. I think you could call that 5 up from here. Right? Something like that. See, this is actually probably like that. So something like that is your count. And then it made probably a whipsaw up. You see, it already corrected, and it looks like you have 5 up from this low. Not enough data to know if that's a low. So the only way to trade this is to just trade it as if it's in a bull market. So I mean, it could still be corrective. It's not enough data to know for sure. So I would just trade it as it's in a bull market until proven otherwise. And expect a reaction soon. And if you're lucky, it comes out and takes that high out. So I think you'll get a reaction, but then there's because of the preceding structure, there's no way to know if you're going to take that high out or not. So it's really once the cycle ends, it's going to either come up and that's it, or it's gone. So it's like it's going to have a huge decision somewhere around this area. But I think you'll react. Now, one clue, you could do this. You could react and fail, and then that would be 5, and then we know there's no, that's not happening, right? Then it will do this and this and that. So that's what I see could take place. I would just wait, but I think if it's corrective, it's going to react sooner than later, and then we have to watch its behavior after that. CGEM. Looks like another go to 0. Breaking these lows. Anytime a chart breaks lower lows, it's a death knell. I mean, yes, it's tradable, but there's, you know, it's like a death knell. So it could see 206. I'm going to draw the Fibonacci level for you. That should almost always produces a reaction. You know, that 206, but now it looks impulsive coming down, right? With divergence. So it's coming down in 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's what it looks like it's doing. But that's 5 down. That looks like that looks like 3 down. So it's going to do something like this probably. My guess is it's going to be reverse split. You know, it's going reverse split Vril. And at some point, it bounces more. It's when this is all over, you'll get a bigger reaction. I mean, to me, it's not tradable. I mean, these are stocks I just look at and just hit the delete button. But I mean, if you have to trade it, I think you're going to get a reaction here and B soon, very soon. And then after that, I would expect it to fail. XRP. Let's take a look at that, how that's doing. Oh man, couldn't make that 5th wave. Tried to make the 5th wave and failed. And now you made a lower low. So yeah, it's heading to our box. It's heading to our box. Although, let's see if it erased divergence and truncate it. See how it did that? See how it wiped out divergence right there on the 4-hour, on the daily? So it's likely truncated. I think you're seeing that a lot in crypto right now. So I mean, we're watching, again, this cycle is coming to an end. And we've reacted. So this box is no longer valid. So I have to assume that B is in now. Now we only have 3 up, 3 down. So it's either a flat off of this peak, or I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 5 down. Yeah, with divergence. So it's a flat off of this peak. So I would label it this way. Something like that. I think you're coming off the lows here. It's almost reacted enough to end the cycle from this peak, but not the whole daily cycle. But it's coming. So I think it's clear that this 3 waves is over. If you can get this bigger bounce than the whole cycle. So we don't have confirmation this is in, other than that capitulation move, running the stops, and it looks like the structure it ended up doing was one of those short 3-wave moves. This is a manipulation. I usually call this like a manipulation structure. It crashes down enough to run your stops because it doesn't want you to make any money, right? And that's what it did here. So I would label it this way, and let's see where it goes. If it can't, let's assume we wake up tomorrow and it's down here. Well, then we'll just change Y down, and the target is going to be really tough to find. I would probably look for probably back where we were, like 240. I would still be looking for that 240. But like Bitcoin, this is run out of time. It's run out of time. All right, Riot, got a bunch here. Riot, MPW, let's see here. Riot is doing really well for us. I think it's 4. I don't think that's 5. I don't like the subdivisions in that wave. So to me, I think it's 5. So but we've seen with many other stocks, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it keeps going. So I don't want to top tick it, but again, I want to be realistic too. If that's 5, we're likely to have a deep pullback like that. So, but obviously, bigger picture, we're close to taking out the July 23 peak. If we had, did we already? Maybe we already did. I have to look a little closer. Almost. We missed it by 50 cents. So we were very close to taking out the July 23 peak. I expect this 5 will do that. So, yeah, and then of course we just keep pushing the major wave 3 higher. All right, so something like this is what I'm thinking. I can't rule out the 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't like selling it. All right, MPW. All right, pulling back in 2. We have 3 waves. That 2 could be in. No, I think it's got a little bit more deep. So it's tough. I think I'm looking at the 4-hour. Well, yeah, we did correct it. So yeah, I mean, it could. That 2 could be in. It could be in. This is too short of a time frame to worry about it. So again, this is another one. Big picture. Look where I have it going. Shorter time frame, it's tough because we're in this correction. I think 2's done. But if you wake up tomorrow and it double corrects, you can't get mad at me. Just understand that, because this is not my system is more like looking for bigger picture, and there, and there's no box here. If we do double correct, you can look for 463, 455. And if not, it's gonna break out. But we keep saying we like this. Vuzi is, I think it's a beneficiary of the Russell. Also, Meta was doing a lot of happy talk on glasses, which got this going. So if Meta, this could benefit from the tailwinds of Meta. Because Meta is really marketing and pushing these glasses, spending all this money and advertise and all that. And guess what? This company makes those glasses too. And in fact, I think they make better glasses. If you really look at their technology and what they can do, they're way ahead of everybody. To me, it blows my mind away, the market cap of this company and why no one has bought this company. I think R&D departments at the big cap tech companies are asleep at the wheel. They're not buying, like they don't have the hubris, or they're just too arrogant and they want to invent it themselves, because they could just buy this company and take all that IP. What they have going for them is huge. It just blows my mind. It reminds me of when Netflix wasn't bought out, when early in its life, and I was saying the same thing about Netflix. Like why isn't a big company buying out Netflix? It's just the same thing. This company's the same thing. Why isn't a big cap company buying these guys out? Because their technology is strong. I mean, go online and look at what their product. They're ahead, guys. They're ahead of Meta. I believe that in the way their glasses work. The CEO sucks at sales and marketing, but he's great at product design, right? That's all it is. If their CEO was a pumper, this shit would be a $100 billion company right now. It would be like Palantir, whatever. You would be a dream company, like open. But the CEO sucks at that. He's a designer, inventor. He's like a PhD guy. So this company's got a great product. Eventually, it will be discovered, and somebody will notice it, and the general public will FOMO back into it. But for now, this is the count we're going with, and we'll go with it until otherwise. Now we only have 3 waves up. This is a pretty sharp pullback, and if we go any lower, we have. I mean, could it be a flat off of this peak? It almost looks like it's too high, but no, it could be a flat. It could. I mean, so I guess the worst case scenario is this. And then maybe a run-in flat. Maybe it doesn't come back down all the way. You get some kind of run-in flat. And again, it's just punishing the chasers. The people that bought it here, they just want to punish them. And the shorts just think it's a money tree, but I think the dynamic is different now. And then if the Russell Index is moving higher, it was recently added to the Russell Index. The Russell Index will move higher in the long term, maybe not the short term, but the long term. It's going to benefit from that money coming in. So this is where we're going with. We're going with discount for now. Okay. FCX is being abandoned by fundamental investors because of a mine being shut down in Indonesia or something. So their production's offline. They're going to miss earnings. But this is the chart we're going with. Now, if there is, I can't rule this out. And again, I mentioned this to people that have asked me about this stock. We react, and then it makes another leg lower, and then we're still in 2, right? And then we head to this pink box is the generational box, right? Where then we would be correct in the cycle from 2015 in a big, either a big flat or just like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an A, B, C. So this to me is the worst case scenario right here, this box. So if you're playing the long-term view, you'll be fine because this is the long-term view. I think, honestly, decades of gains ahead. But if you're playing the day trader view, you're not going to be too happy with this. And you're going to need, but I think if you have a bigger picture in mind, you could be okay. But anyway, we just keep trading the boxes. My strategy is simple. Buy box, buy the box, buy the box. And yes, could it go to bankrupt? I guess it could. It could go to 0. We know that it could go to 0, but I think the world would have to be in a depression. Or this company would just have to somehow, just have some kind of, Enron like, because even with a mine shut down, it's not going bankrupt. What I was also thinking is even if that supply is offline, okay, they're making money on less output. They're making less money on less output, but what if the cost of the commodity goes up exponentially? It could overcome that reduced output, and their earnings could actually still improve or be better. And see, fundamental investors are stupid. They're not looking at what commodities are doing recently. They're not. I mean, last I checked, the precious metals are going higher. They've been going higher. Copper's still going higher. So if precious metals can, hit the accelerator, it could actually make up for its lost production potentially, and then fundamental investors will FOMO back in and look like fools for dumping it, because and that's a fundamental view of this, by the way. But anyway, this is kind of what I'm thinking right now. Okay, on FCX. Thanks again. Good vibes. CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike was another one. That again, if you're looking for instant gratification, you were angry at Elliott Wave Sage, but then eventually it did spike higher. Again, our long-term chart stands, and it will continue to be this way. Let's take a look at what happened down here. Looks like obviously a flat correction off the peak. Right here, A, B, and then C, and then obviously that's 3, that's 4. It looks like a 4 there. So something like this, right? And then we should pull back again. And then finally maybe break out of this pattern. So something like this is what we're looking for. So yeah, let's go look at that 4. So right there, it's got to hold. If we go lower, then yeah, we're looking at a three-wave move. That could be more bearish. So we really want to hold 467.62. If we break that low, we could be doing a bigger double correction in two. I mean, I'm not going to lie, right? And that would put you back down to maybe 390. So got to watch that. Got to be careful. That's why if you're going to chase it, you could be chasing a double correction. It's still not out of the woods. You need this 5. If you don't get the 5, and we come back down and break these levels after this bounce, we may be looking at a double correction in 2. I would be surprised because you didn't. I mean, I guess you got kind of a double correction here. Yeah, maybe it does the same thing. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, but I think this is probably where we're going with it. Okay. Mara. Yeah, finally someone asked me about Mara. Mara, I don't think my chart's up to date on Mara. We'll have to look at this real quick. We haven't really paid a lot of attention to Mara. Let's see. So Mara, we have 3 waves down in 2. Let's go to the 4-hour, the daily, I'm sorry. So we got a little bit of divergence at the low, but you know, that right there kept me out of it. That's why we pushed Riot, I believe. We only showing 3 up. We're showing 5 down here. So yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. Got to be careful. Why is it different? Why is this not behaving like Riot? Riot's already broken these hot. Like, I don't know, but the charts, the chart has been the clue all along for us. So I'm just gonna label the chart, guy, and what I see, and you'll have to, you know, and I can't tell you why it's not behaving properly. You know, it looks like we do have a little different. Yeah, so this would be. So I'm not sure why it's not behaving properly, but it will find a low eventually. Maybe that's the capitulation move coming. I would be more interested in it down here at around $8. If it got down there, that's a big drop though. So I think this is the key level. 1937. As long as you're below that, I think the bears rule and control this market. If you can flip it, then I think you have to call that low in, right? And then you have to call this as a 1-2, 1-2. So I think I'll go with this count for now. I don't like to trade it because of how it bottomed here, and that's why we avoided it pretty much. And we went right to Riot as our lead. We looked at and was like, no, we'll stick with Riot. All right. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, some big cap tech. So we cover these in our pro group, guys, if you're ever interested in looking at that. Amazon is a pretty simple chart. We have this big inverse head and shoulders continuation pattern that every trader alive knows and sees. And just like I mentioned before, they all were like buying it right there. All the traders were deciding to buy right there. This is when all the X posts came out. I mean, literally, I read about Amazon. You know, it was going to be a real, they call it ass ripper higher. It was supposed to be an ass ripper higher. Well, that didn't work out. No ass ripper. And that's why, because the market makers are punishing you guys. I mean, that's what's happened. And I don't know, again, the emotion, human emotion is to chase it. Again, we try to buy it lower, like here. And now here you're going to get a reaction, but I think it's going to double. I think it's going to do this and come down lower. I don't think it's a 1-2, 1-2, because if you look at the subdivisions of this wave, it looks 3 waves, right? I mean, I had to be honest, intellectually honest here. I mean, I can't call that 5 waves, so I think it's going to do that. So just that's Amazon, but this would be a great opportunity, and then it would probably shake out the chasers, and then finally build out to higher highs. But yeah, this long term, this looks great. This chart looks amazing. I mean, amazing. Just what's the right entry? You know, 219 or is it 203? I mean, we're talking $20 here. when it trades up at 370, 380, I don't think you'll care, but I know traders care. So I think it's tough. Like the entry, like this entry is better than up here for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes it lower and may even push it down to the 190, 180 area where the wave 4 is. So we just have to let this play out. Microsoft also has a lower low. It broke this low. At first, we were thinking C was here, but I think Microsoft's going to extend a little bit more. I think Microsoft is going to do that because that will help raise this target up a little bit. And I think Microsoft has a chart that looks something like this. It's going to be hard to time this one in the low, maybe 470, 460. But I'm looking for something like this. So as you can see, like I think a bigger sell-off is coming in October, right? To generate this kind of selling. But I think right now we're going to see something like this. Now, if we break below this 505 level here, then 2 is in. The next leg lower has started, right? And then we're looking at somewhere down here. And that it's because of the lower low. If we didn't have the lower low, we would be calling higher on a flat. This means the bears still have control of the market. And then Google, let's take a look at Google here. Google has been doing pretty well, but it's definitely due for a pullback as well soon. I have it in one more high and then a big pullback. This kind of goes with the rest of the forecast. We'll be correct in the whole April cycle. Now, could it come back and back test the high, all-time high? Technically, charts love to do that. So don't be shocked if it comes back to 207. Now, the wave 4 cluster is right around 234. It doesn't have to do that, but I wouldn't be but I do think it's got like one more high and then a pullback coming. Something like this. But obviously, in the grand super cycle of Google, it's breaking out. And it really just got going, right? It just got going. Okay, thanks for the super chats. Tilray was one that we just called looking at. We didn't even have to do a chart. We just kind of looked at it from our experience as traders. It was on a live stream. We saw this, and this to me is an obvious buy signal. And in diagonal look. I mean, this is just so obvious, and we were just like, I was just like, go long, and that was the right call, right? And that was just professional trader, like look, we didn't even need the label. There was no need for labeling, right? There was no need for labeling. We just knew. Now here we are. We're in a correction off of this big pump. I see 5 down. Okay, I do. I mean. But, oh, look at that. Yeah, we erased divergence there. Let's go to the 45. It doesn't matter that much. The 4 hours is the most important. So, yeah, I think we call the 2 in. We call the 2 in. And it looks like, to me, we're having a cycle off the lows. So, it looks like it wants to go higher from here, from off of this low. Is it in a flat? Yeah, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like that look. It's got to be a flat off of that peak. And this is an A, B, C. So it's in a flat. So as long as it's above 104, I think it's still the structure's still valid, but it may not be done going down yet in C. We do have a little divergence, so I mean 114. I mean theoretically could be the low right there, but I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's tough right here. So I think it's in a flat. The key level obviously is this low at 103, and you're looking for that to hold, to be supported. If that isn't, then it's a W, some kind of X, which you could still whipsaw around and then Y later. Plan it for a short. Oh, is that right? The fundamental business model is not working out for them. Well, yeah, I mean, the fundamentals eventually catch up to the stock price, right? So we can take a look and take a look at the chart. Oh, it is ending a major cycle. I mean, so yeah, I mean, a big pullback is due. Is it the end of the grand super cycle? Maybe not quite yet. But let's just look at it before we get too excited about it. Yeah, I think this is the right count. I'm not sure what I had before. We'll look at it one more time. Yeah, that's what it is. So it is about to end the major cycle. You see this? I think it could make one more high. Maybe no one's figured out what you're saying, and then when they figure it out up here, then there'll be the catastrophe. Because once the grand super cycle ends on this, there should be a sharp pullback like that. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm seeing in the chart, something like this. But I think it can make one more high. All right. For a short, I don't like to top tick this kind of market because there's no short setup. The best way to short a stock like this is let it play out. And then when you get that first pullback, right, you'll get a pullback in, let's say, 3 waves. The first leg, the crash wave. Oh my gosh, something changed. Then what usually happens is you bounce off of this low, right? Fine. I still wouldn't short that, but then you start to come back down again for the next leg lower. Let's say you start the next leg lower. But let's say as you're going down, you get this 1 and you break this low and you get 2, right? Let me see if I can draw this better. And draw this like this. So 1 comes down, you break this low, now you can short 2. This would be short right there. Short that 2 against this peak, right? Again, we trade within the 30-yard lines. This would be we're not trying to find the top. We'll wait, see the confirmation. So this is like what's happening with Dexcom right now, right? So we break the low, the rallies can be shorted against this pivot. Every rally, every 3-wave rally can be shorted until you hit your box, wherever the box may be. The box down here would be 74. So you would short, every bounce would be short, 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 short. Once you hit the box, you cover. And that's how it is. So that's why. But that's why you don't see a lot of short ideas from me right now, because the market's not in a downtrend mode. It's an uptrend mode. Eventually, things will change. And everyone that's followed me knows that. We will go back to SQQ and all that good stuff. It's just not time, because we don't like to say this is the top and we're going to short that, because we're so smart and everything. Our channel doesn't do that. We don't do that, because we've seen many times that we think it's a 5 and then all of a sudden it was a 1-2 and it goes boom. So we just don't do that. We wait for the confirmation of the lower low sequence or higher high sequence. What does that mean is we don't get the exact top, we don't get the exact bottom, but we get in the middle of the trade and it increases our odds of success. Qubit, QUBT. I think Quantum was pulling back a little bit. Let's take a look at where we are with this thing. Haven't updated it in a while. Let's see. So we had this 2-wave. It looks like, you see how we made a lower low there? Yeah, it's likely in a bigger consolidation. I still think it makes more upside in the future. It's just this could have been the low, and then you did this yeah, this move off of here. Let me see. Let's go to the 4-hour. Yeah, my guess is you can make one more high here, but I'd be really careful because I think it could do this. One more high, right? And then you get a rug pull flat. I think you got to be careful of that setup. I don't see a trade here. I think I would be really cautious about this setup. The higher high is nice. If you get this, then the path higher is clear. This would be a tremendous opportunity. If the market rug pulls this, to buy it back down at 14 or lower, massive opportunity for the 3. But I think trying to chase and get and predict that is going to be very difficult. I don't think that's the low. All right, and CRU, a crypto here. HSTX exchange. All right, let's take a look. All right. That's a big pump right there. I'm going to ignore that data point. We're just going to say that's the low, but let's look at just kind of curiosity. Yes, a little bit. All right, I mean, it could be 5 waves down. I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty massive pump off the lows, but you see it made a lower low after that pump. So that's, to me, like noise. So could it be a big A, B, C maybe from this low here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, it's only moving in 3. So this is only moving in 3 swings off this low. 3 swings down, 5 up. Looks like 5 up. Yeah, it's this is basically a tough 1-2 trade. I'll do the best I can, but it's totally in a like a it's not trending. We probably should label that as an ABC. WX. You see, this is really complicated structure. So it has to hold that low. So if you have to hold this 675. If you can hold that, you're going to get Y out. You're going to get another pump. If you can't hold it, the price will collapse. The price and structure should collapse. And I can't really, it's going to just be a complete wipeout. So this has to hold up. So we need this structure to hold. There's a very important level, I think, for this to hold up on. Because you erase divergence there. So I would go with this for now. That's what you're looking for. All right, that's a tough one. I mean, yeah, I guess you could buy it and put your stop there, and maybe you get lucky and get this Y. All right. All right. let's keep going. I've got a few more super chats coming in. End phase and Din. And thanks for being a member, Tina. End phase trying to come off of this low we had here. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So tan looks very similar setup to the reason I say that is tan's at a do or die moment, and so is this, right? So this is the setup. So it's gotta do it now, or the setup's gonna be lost. Like it doesn't even have a penny to spare in this setup. If not, it's corrective. If not, it's corrective. So and that's how the tan is too. The tan is the solar ETF. It's like on the edge. If it can't make a move like tomorrow, then this will be just big 3 waves, an ABC, and it's likely to be a corrective wave, and we're probably coming back down. So I think this is very important level to hold. And you can see that with the daily cycle as you came out, erased divergence in your. Now the good thing is the daily cycle is getting oversold. The weekly cycle is not. So how about the 4-hour cycle? 4 hours oversold. So short-term trade should bounce. So you would think as a short-term trade we should finish up, right? Maybe not make too much more upside, maybe very difficult, and then have a much bigger pullback when that weekly cycle finally takes hold. That's what you're hoping for. But I mean, we need to move like tomorrow on this. DIN. Dine Brands. Not sure. Never heard of these guys. Looks like something we may have looked at a long time ago. Damn. We had a box at 478. Well, it's slowly been getting there. I don't know when the last time is we looked at it, to be honest with you, but it's probably more of a flat and an ABC, but I'll leave it for now. So we can just, we need an impulse to end this thing. So you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should be getting close, but let's look at the RSI. So there's your 3. There's your 3. You're getting bullish divergence. How about the monthly? And that's your final 3. That's your higher degree 3. There. Well, you see that we took out that, so we extend it. So we did extend. So this would be another 1, 2 right here. So it's probably going to be looking at like one more low. Or a couple more swings down. So yeah, I think it's still trying to hit to this box, as crazy as it sounds. So I'd be looking for something like this. It's in a nasty flat, and again, that's 1, 2. So not sure what sector is it in. Restaurants, food. Oh, if it's in food, yeah, food is out of favor right now. Food, because when we look at Chipotle and all those things, they're all getting hit if it's food related. Let me see what it says. This thing is doesn't really talk about it. It just says restaurants. So if it's tied to food and restaurants, that's now I see why it's in this bear, and those stocks still have more downside. Okay. All right, MYO. MYO is correcting that first reaction off the lows. And we have 5 waves. We have 3 down, so that 2 could be in. But we only see 3 up. So there is a possibility for a bigger double correction. So we have to keep that in mind. It could take another swing down. to shake out the weak hands, and that would be at 86.59. So there is a possibility of it hitting 86.59, and perhaps people that didn't really pick it up can try to buy it again down there, if it's possible. So we'll wait and see real quick if that's the case or not. Okay, we'll check it out and see. Okay, sorry about that. I had to step away for a minute. All right, that one's pretty simple. MLGO, I think we did this one tonight already. Maybe we didn't. Nice reaction from the box there. Hopefully people got paid on that. Now it's over. See, so now we don't know, right? So we don't know where it's going to go because now the reaction's done. And so now the move, again, like it's in no man's land, right? It's going to do either this, right? And then it could either, like I mentioned before, it can do from here, it can go take another leg higher. It could react and then drop, right? Or it can just drop. So this is like, because you can see, no one knows. The setup was here, the setup is gone, and now it's just guessing. It's just a wild guess, depending on your personal bias. I mean, if you look at the chart, if the chart is any indication of what it's usually, it goes down, right? It never really goes up. So I would be expecting it to go lower, more than I would ever expect it to go higher. It looks like you have 3 waves down. So that may be a good sign that maybe it's going to correct and make another swing higher. It's not 5 waves down, and that's 3 waves down. So, I mean, maybe it does this. If it can hold that low right here, there's a chance for another leg higher. Okay, there's a chance for another leg higher. So this is a valid count right now. So if it can hold that low at 10 bucks, buy it at 10.45, stop at $10, you may get this next push higher, and you only have 3 down, and it almost looks like 5 up here. So the odds are it's going to recover. So the odds tell me actually they tilt slightly bullish. So we'll go with this count for now. But I would tell you just be really careful trading it, really careful. But if you bought that box, then you have a lot more room to breathe. So that would produce a much bigger push higher, of course. So we'll see what happens on Monday. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, it's going to happen tomorrow, right? Okay, next question. Cosmos Energy. Let me see if I can find that symbol. Cosmos Energy. There we go. Let's take a look. Another go to 0. Well, maybe not. Let's take a look. It looked like one. Yeah, I mean, not a lot. Really interesting chart. Look at that capitulation. So we had the big 3 connector, 3 down. So you would say that's a pretty solid low to build off of. Whoops. You did make 1 high off of that. So there was, I mean, you could make a 4 and a 5 right there. So if we wanted, but 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's 5 right there. So this is 5. 1, 2. So it's either this that looks like 3 down, 5 up. So it's like a connector there. So we probably put the 4 there, put the 5 here. All right, so we'll go with that count. And then this is just a big ABC correction. We want to see some divergence at that low. Because it's we want to see, we don't want to see it end like that. Maybe makes one more low. It's running out of room. It's already bounced too much. So it corrected in 3 waves. So we have to go with this is the low. There's no more room. So you have to say that's the low. And then this was actually a WXY correction. And an A, B, C. If not, then it's a shout because this bounce is corrected this whole cycle. So this low's got to hold. We have divergence, so it looks like it's made 5 off the low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll see if it can push out of it. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Again, another one of these right at the edge. So as long as it can hold this 141, it should come out. It should come out. All right. CGC, haven't looked at that in a while. The chart may not be up to date. Let's take a look. We're trying to call this off the low. Not as bullish as Tilray. Double correct it. Only 3 up. Could still be in this correction. As crazy as it sounds. So we have 3 down. It looks 3 up. But you know what? I see 5 because you have 1, 2 there. So that's the 5. Right? And now we got to pull back. And there's your divergence erased. So same thing like with Tilray. This low's got to hold at 129 for this count to be valid. If this low breaks at let's say 130, 129, then it's going to go deeper down to like 108. It's going to come down to this area. So we didn't take out this peak, unfortunately. That would have been nice. But I think this is 5 off the low. So I think this is the count for now. UPS, we have our eye on the target. I think this is a clue where if the world markets are going to have a big sell-off, I think there's a couple stocks that are going to be the floor, and this may be one of them. We're looking for this $78, $76 area. We're getting really close. I mean, 1, 2, 3. So we already have 1 down of the 5. 1, 2. So hopefully we continue this a little bit more. We don't want to erase divergence. We need to end divergence. We need to see bullish divergence play out. So we're looking for this final push lower, and then a bounce. Earnings is the 28. Now, as you can see on the chart, there's massive support here, depending on where you draw your line. Maybe I can draw it down a little bit here. You know, I'm just drawing it through a majority of the wicks. 77, 78. Now you see a wick through it, wick through it, wick through it, wick through it. It could still wick through it, but I call that like bus bonus area. The odds of this just breaking through that without any reaction higher is slim to none. I mean, it's not 0. It can happen. But you're going to, even if we wick through it to 70, you're going to react. And now look, this is on a higher time frame. So the reaction will be in years, not days. Because look at the cycle. It will be ending the cycle from 2022. Holy crap. So your bounce we're going to get on UPS when it's down in this area is going to be years And it's either going to come back up and get rejected at 100, and then is essentially going to collapse down to 30 or 20. You would have to think that would be a depression, guys. That would have to be not a recession, a depression. Or a company-specific catastrophe. They just mismanaged their business somehow. You're going to get that. Or you're going to get a small little pullback, and then you're going to get a breakout. Right? So one or the other is going to happen. And then this predicts world markets. Typically, if UPS is going to bounce, how can the world markets crash? It makes no sense. Now, when UPS finishes this bigger cycle, somewhere in 28, maybe 27, somewhere up here, then it could correct again and come back down. And maybe it comes down to 58. That's more believable, right? Not 20, because now the target can be lifted. So this tells you the grand super cycle is okay if you just think about it logically. And again, it's a little bit of chess player trading, but I'm not making a trading decision off of it. I'm just telling you how I think about the market. I wouldn't trade just on this chart, but I would trade other instruments. I wouldn't say, oh my God, buy SPY because of it. I would just say that I can't see the markets crashing if UPS is going to correct the cycle from 2022. I just can't see it. I just can't see it. So you've got that. So you've got the only other scenario is this scenario, and it's almost, the likelihood of that is almost zero based on technical charting and what we see here, almost zero. So so we're getting really close, but we're not quite there yet. If you're trying to pinpoint a perfect entry, right? That's your perfect entry right around here. So, all right, good luck on that. Holo is another meme stock that we look at that has its sometimes it pumps. It looks like it's coming out of this low again. Looks like it's trying to move in 3 waves, but let's take a look at it. Now that one's moving in 5. So we have 3 here. So this was likely a flat. And then this ended up being 5. And now it pulled back. Let's look at the higher time frame. I mean, it's still possible to be corrective. So this is the bullish interpretation of the chart. You only have 1, 2, 3 swings. So there is possibility it can come back and take out this low at 428. Let's look at this cycle. Once this cycle ends, pretty much has here. Yeah, so my thinking is, like most of these pump stocks we've been looking at, they're very close to major pivots. So as long as that low holds, it can see another leg higher. If this low breaks, it's likely to come back and break this whole structure, and it will be a corrective wave, and it goes back to reverse split land, like it always does. If not, if it can hold this, then you'll get another leg. So it's right at the end. So I guess, yeah, you want to buy it at 496, stop at 479, or maybe 470 just to be safe, and see what happens. See if you can get that bigger push higher. All right. I think I covered everyone's chats. Thanks again for joining in tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, crash setup, like we know there's a big pullback coming. I mean, I think for the most part, we've looked at the market and we see big pullback coming, but I don't know if it's a crash, but a big pullback is possible. And I mean, we're not saying that can't happen, right? We can make another high and pull back in 2. We can double correct in 2. This could be this pullback, this October pullback, or we can make 1, 2, 3, 4, and make 5, right? And then get an even bigger pullback. So yes, I see a pullback. We just saw the big cap tech I analyzed. They all show pullbacks. So yes, definitely I think likely of a pullback. The UVIX needs to end the April cycle. It's trying desperately to do that. At some point it will. So we have to keep an eye on that. That's the most likely path. But can we say for certain? Can I say, oh, 100% certain, pound my chest, and I'm so smart, and I'm the trading god? I can't. No, because there is a possibility that you get this 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, and it just keeps going. And there is no October. So I don't want to be betting on a crash or top ticking. I'm not top ticking the market here. I'm not shorting the market. And because I'm so smart, we see divergences get erased all the time, because if you try that, right, what do the market makers do? They run it up. And if people are too bearish there, that's what they're going to do. Now, if people are too bullish and they chase it, you're going to pay the price. Or if you're chasing now, so we just don't know what the most likely path is. Another leg lower. I will tell you that. I will be shocked if we get Moonboy. If we just get Moonboy, guys, I'll be shocked. But will we position and profit? Hell yeah, we'll be profiting from it, because we got our positions a lot earlier. So we don't have to worry about, should I take a new long tomorrow? No, our positions, we're fine. We're not getting out of them yet. So if it wants to go full on Moonboy, great. If it doesn't, well, I don't care either. I just think putting on a new position right now is very risky unless you have a really good strategy or you're getting a box. A nice 3-wave pullback that helps tilt the odds in your side. Then, okay, so you want to take a new position, take a new position. But if you're just chasing the indices randomly, you're going to get in a lot of trouble potentially in this month. And yes, October is the month for big sell-offs and crashes. So October is the month of danger, right? We're going into that month. Why is it the case? I don't know, but it is. Historically, this is the month when the market has the most volatility, and it's just something you have to think about, guys. All right. Well, I appreciate again all the super chats and everyone following me. Thanks again for everything, and I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, there's a few other symbols out there, guys. If I had the chart, I would just say it. The only one I do have a chart, Trade Desk. So is Trade Desk the low end? I keep asking. If you call it a flat from the highs, you could call the lower low a fifth wave with bullish divergence and call it bottom. But I believe the bounce was too strong off of the April lows. I believe it's a new cycle, and I don't believe I believe that is going to create a much deeper sell-off. So personally, I don't think the lows are in. I'm not a buyer of it, but there is a possibility that it's still in that flat, and it's in the fifth wave of the major flat from the peak, and that could potentially be the lows. The best thing to do with Trade Desk is just sit on the sidelines. If that is the lows, wait for that prior peak before it crashed. Earnings recently, a crash from that level, make it come back and take that level out again. You may not get the exact bottom, but if it can come back and take that level out, then it's a 5-wave flat, the lows in, and then you can trade between the 30-yard lines, and you have plenty of upside for years in Trade Desk, or you just watch it melt down in a catastrophe for fundamental and traders, fundamental investors and traders, and then buy it in the 20s or whenever it comes in. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Good luck. And